All right, what's going on, everybody? Today I'm hopping on here and just talk about what breaks when you try to scale to $10,000-$20,000 a day and past it. Now, this isn't just going to be pinpointing little things like, oh, your payment processing or this or that. It's going to be talking about different systems and ideologies of more so what is working right now. What do I need to be thinking? How's my thought process working in certain areas? And everything else that you're going to need to consistently and properly scale to these heights. Because last month I did over $600,000 on one brand and over $400,000 on the other. If anyone knows how to coast between $10,000 to $20,000 a day, I'd say it's me. If you don't know me, my name is Leo Kuzno or Soldier Ecom. I've been dropshipping since 2019, early days, and I have a lot of experience over time. And one thing I can say about the game is always changing. And I'm going to be talking to you guys about why I do so many different little certain things here. And I think this is a good update, a good video to be putting out in the beginning of 2026. So people who are very serious about dropshipping and actually want to win, build up stores over time and make $1 million exits within a year or so, or liquidity events is what I call them. I set up lots of them for myself. It is so very doable. And in this video, we're going to kind of go through a checklist of just exactly what will break and how I'm operating when it comes to everything. When it comes to the storefronts, how I'm testing different landing pages, targeting different angles. Everything in this video we're covering is what is working right now, so you don't want to miss any of it. Going through things like payment processing structures, the best way to get payment processing, and what type of payment processors you're going to want. And just everything you're going to want to know of what's working right now, what the biggest operators are doing, what they're using. And after this video, you should be pretty much set. Obviously, we're going to go into things like advertising structures, how teams are set up, and what you solely and only need to be focused on as the operator. So what is going to break at $10,000 to $20,000 a day? And forgive me, guys, I know this isn't like my usual setup. It's late, and I just wanted to get this video out for you guys because I was thinking about it. I was laying in bed and I'm thinking, you know what? There is just so much moving parts in this. And it's not just, using, okay, this certain supplier or this certain ad account provider. It is so much more involving than that in each and every scenario and having the best outcome. So with that being said, we're going to hop on the computer here. What breaks at 10 to 20K a day? 10 to 20K a day is the sweet spot in dropshipping. So the way I would like to go about this is, again, guys, I was just laying in bed and I'm like, this is such a sick video to make and just really talk about things, what's breaking and what you need to, account for and do to safeguard yourself and actually hold this scale and, and live the dream, exit your dropshipping business and not only change your lives, but your families and everybody around you. And it's so easy because if you can just hold 10 to 20K, it's really all it takes. It's game over. It's wraps. You have a great business. People look at that and they go, holy shit. You don't have to be doing these astronomical, although they're fun, these 500K days and involving yourselves in so much problems and intimate failure. It is about holding consistency, having good pay stubs and processes and systems that will actually lead you to those big numbers like you're seeing here. So what breaks at 20K a day? The biggest thing I would say is, I know we talked about this, but payment processing, right? So you're gonna want, I put payment processing in 2 slots. Slot 1 is gonna be Shopify payments. Okay, so slot 1 is gonna be Shopify payments. Now Shopify payments is great. It's great. It has an insane approval rating. Everybody's trusted. Everyone's familiar with it. You're gonna have the most cards go through, but it's not gonna allow you to do certain things like, maybe set up a certain type of subscription, or they're gonna have your funds put on hold. Is gonna be probably the biggest thing. So Shopify payments holds. And now I wouldn't say just get rid of it, but I would say it's one thing to always keep your head on a swivel and watch out for is Shopify payments and making sure they're happy, making sure your Shopify payment orders have their tracking numbers up quickly with your agent. Again, we're going to want a good supplier, a good agent relationship, not an agent that's drop shipping from other factories. We'll get into that in a little bit. But Shopify payments is slot 1. Now slot 2, mid to high risk. So slot 2 is going to be mid to high risk. And what I mean by this is you have a high risk processor that has Apple Pay enabled. So there's high risk processors. Basically, you're getting a third party processing company to process payments for you. Now, this is like, let's say your customers go on your store, they have that Shop Pay button, but if they choose to just go through normal CC processing, they would actually end up using that high risk mid. This is something where you can just have like a much more curated relationship and you can just talk to people. Like, let's say, for example, you go and get a processor and you say, hey, I'm going to be doing about 300 to 600,000 a month. I'm scaling up. I want to spend more. They go, okay, you can do that amount of money. We're not going to shut you off. We're going to have a very, unique relationship. and maybe, you talk to them on Telegram or wherever. That's where I talk to my, ISO, and ISO is what will get you connected with these high risk processors. I think that's one of the best things right now, because that way you can scale up and past it, and they, just not have any crazy issues. Some high risk mids only give you like $20,000 to $50,000 a month cap. Of course, this is dependent on your stubs, your bank, what you're currently processing with other processors, your other processing statements, your bank statements, and what underwriting approves you for. But there are some solutions, that you could just be fresh, young and gunning. You don't really have any bank statements that really uphold your scaling fast, and you need it. And then yes, there's also solutions for that, and it's more about who you know. It's not like you're paying this outrageous fee on top of everything. The other thing, to always keep your mid alive. You're always going to want to stay under a 2% chargeback rating. Of course, these high risk mids, they have a lot more playroom. I get it, right? Sometimes you do a launch, or you're scaling up high, and it can only take, a couple people to charge back at once, and that's just, luck of the draw. Maybe it was friendly fraud, whatever it was. And all of a sudden your whole payment processing structure is kaput. So in order to, and especially right now, there's what's called Visa Vamp that's rolling out. There's a lot more high monitoring on these different types of payment processors, these big card brands. They're really looking into what's going on a lot more lately. So having a good chargeback mitigation is everything. Now, chargeback mitigation is everything because, like I said, if a chargeback comes in and hits your processor and throws you above that threshold, you wake up one night and boom, everything's gone. Again, this typically doesn't happen in a high-risk processing relationship, but Shopify payments, as we know, as most of you guys know that are scaling up, and what's breaking, it's going to be your Shopify payments. Things like that. Of course, though, I'm not advocating on getting rid of it. If you have it, you have it. It's like one of those like little luxuries, but it's something, again, keep your head on a swivel. Always pay attention to it. Worst case scenario, be like me and just run a high risk payment processor with Apple Pay enabled only. But chargeback mitigation is always going to be needed. So again, chargeback mitigation solutions, there's a few good ones right now. A big one just had a huge hack go down. This is kind of finding what's best for you. But typically you're going to want to pay around the price of 15 or 22 Ethica. $15 RDR is typically what you're going to be paying. This is what's basically, let's say a chargeback comes in and it automatically, before it hits the processor, RDR will refund the transaction, therefore not hitting the processor as a transaction, and you will actually get refunded those RDR fees. And any chargeback fee that were to incur will get refunded automatically to you as well. So this is a huge thing, $15 RDR. Again, guys, if you need this stuff, just shoot me a DM, right? Because again, at all times, even though this is like what's breaking everything, every little structure is different. You might want to use this company, or you might want to use this company that also offers, CDRN or Ethica Alert. But I do think RDR is really the biggest one, mainly because RDR is for Visa cards, and that is what most of you guys are going to be taking like 90% of the time. So, MasterCard, Amex, that would be CDRN. And just really comparing, contrasting prices and service for you and your needs at $10,000 to $20,000 a day. So the next thing that breaks, I'm sure you guys love it, and you never want this to break, advertising. What do I mean by advertising? So most of you guys know you're probably running your ads on Facebook ads. Big whoop. Who would have thought? And running on Facebook ads is brutal. As someone who spent over 8 figures on Facebook ads myself, alone, on a computer like I am now, I will say knowing somebody in Facebook to basically turn and reinstate your ad account, maybe your BM that's holding your pixel or anything up at all times, just having someone on the inside is the ultimate way to run ads. And then of course having a team that's always going to be there for you to get your ads back online, to replace ad accounts and everything. I would say having a very, very good ad account structure, as I'm writing down right now, is huge. Having an insider, backups ready, ad accounts ready. So like when your ad account does go down, you can instantly throw ads right back up. These are not just any other ad accounts, right? These are ad accounts that maybe have some aging to them, maybe have some pre-spend already. So you don't just, throw ads up and everything gets denied and your shit just hits the fan and you're kaputs once again. And then of course, you're gonna want your pixel hosted on a separate, unique BM. that is then shared with the BM that you're using for advertising. This is a huge thing. This is not very talked about anywhere except some of the more black hat, kind of gray hat sites and affiliate networks and Discord servers. But having this basically ensures your data. Whether you need to create a whole new BM to get your ads up, or you just get instantly reinstated by an insider, which again, just DM, you need help getting in reinstating your BM or anything like that, there are solutions. There are people to talk to on Telegram that can, that are trustworthy and middlemen and everything getting reinstated for very, very low prices. A lot of people out here are charging out the crap ass for all of these types of services. But yes, having a good ad account structure is everything, because I'm sure most of you guys get banned. And when you're banned, are your ads up within 30 minutes to an hour? Did you get alerted? Are your ads back up? Are you on a separate ad account with the same pixel? You didn't lose any data and you're good to go again on either the same page or a brand new page? Or all of a sudden are you, oh my God, even the profile got banned. It takes days to even get a good Facebook account going. You try to warm it up, banned again, things like that. You need to have everything in your tool, your arsenal. If you're going to be playing the big leagues, you got to set up and take this shit seriously. You got to play the big leagues if you're going to play them. So that's one of the biggest things here is ad account structure. Now, another thing when it comes to advertising is don't be a sitting duck. What do I mean by don't be a sitting duck? Okay, I told you this video isn't just talking about the little structures and everything. It's talking about all of it, the ideologies, its ideas, its ways to think. And not to be a sitting duck is what I mean is don't just be the guy running some sort of video ad of your product and it's just the same video ad and that you only run the same ads, or you only run, the same few static angles and it's fucking 50% off, if sale ends today, closing sale, this and that, and it's all the same stuff. The way to always be on top and winning within your product, your niche, is to be currently testing and implementing new marketing angles at all times and then having congruent ads for that. Now, let me talk to you about having congruent ads. Maybe you're running some sort of advertorial landing page or a listicle landing page. And I know a lot of you guys might not know exactly what those are yet, but there are different types of landers. Let's just call them pre-landers for now. I'm selling a perfume, and one of my landing pages is, are you having trouble? Are the guys, not wanting you? Blah, blah, blah. And then you have ads that would run to that landing page. And then one of my landing pages is, this perfume cures cancer. Okay, it could be anything. And I would go on ChatGPT and ask it for marketing angles for your product so you can actually, maybe the biggest marketing angles for your product so you guys can nail it down. And trust me, I see some of you guys out there running all that cancer stuff. But testing and implementing new marketing angles with congruent ads to pre-lander. So I'll throw up an example of like what a congruent ad would look like. It could be a static typically or a video. And this is just new stuff to try in your ad account. It doesn't have to be crazy. You could be testing these types of things at $200 a day and spend, and just letting them hit and seeing which one has the best CPMs, which ones you're getting the lowest clicks, and the highest ROAS, the highest return on ad spend for. So this is a huge thing. No one's doing it. But again, don't be the sitting duck. If you're going to be the sitting duck, I can guarantee you one day your CPMs are going to fall. The customers are going to go, where are they? Where are they? And no one's going to buy your product and you're not going to make money anymore. So doing this ensures you that you can keep running your offer, your product, and just testing new angles, congruent pre-landers to ads is huge. Anyone doing 9 figures a year on here, 8 figures a month, yada yada, or around that range can attest for exactly what I'm saying and knows that I'm 100% right. Because once that breaks and once your CPMs go up and once your ROAS starts to tank, you aren't gonna be that like cool guy that you felt like when your ads were printing. So you always want your ads to print, and it's easier said than done, right? Typically you're high on life and a lot of people get comfortable. They don't want to keep pushing up, but you have to do this. I've fallen victim of it many times, where I think I'm on top of the world with an offer and I didn't do something as simple as this. If you guys need any help, and it's very easy to do yourself on Canva, create your own pre-landers on things like, gem pages or something like that. Pagefly, very, very easy stuff to do. Do not get ripped off. Do not look around. I mean, if you're gonna spend money, let me know in the DMs. Again, just don't get ripped off. Like, people are gonna probably try to charge you thousands. They just think you're like some idiot for a landing page and congruent ads. But yeah, like, AI can do all of this. So what brings me into the next one? Storefront. So storefront is a huge thing. Offers, different offers. You know, maybe you're selling something for X, buy one get one, buy two get one. 50% off, free plus shipping, whatever you're running, and maybe you want a bunch of different landing pages for your products. And I guess the number one thing we all want is speed and ease of access. Just like I was saying, with advertising, how AI, you can literally just create ads like super quickly, like video ads, picture ads, like both of them. They look amazing nowadays. It's not like, oh, it's AI anymore. Now it's just almost so native to what everyone's seeing currently on their feeds. No one really bats an extra eye or thinks twice. And AI constructing, with Atlas. So Atlas is something basically you can use, and you can just spin up landers really quickly. Shopify store, you can test different offers, and speed and ease of access are number one here. Using Atlas basically allows me, if I want to spin up a new lander, or like we were talking for marketing, a pre-lander or a different type of advertorial or listicle type lander, maybe targeting a different angle. Again, using AI ads, using AI, Atlas to construct these landers, to construct your store entirely and make sure it's to the nines and, everything's set up properly for what to be a winning store, is going to be huge here, because you are competing against a younger generation and all they are using is AI. So you might as well stay at the forefront and use AI for your storefront. But yes, no, this is like what's going on now and what's working right now, exactly what I'm using. Again, I'm not like just out here shouting out a bunch of different companies or anything, but I would recommend, just to keep it as easy as possible, Atlas. I will have them down below listed. Typically, I don't do this, but yes, I do believe it's the best here. It's for building your Shopify store. As you can see, you can do in here. They have all these extremely nice features. Typically, when you're trying to build your Shopify store yourself, there's just too many changes, too many tests. And shit just starts getting messy fast. And Atlas basically just fits as the move with speed without breaking shit type layer. Spinning pages, testing back-end offers, tweaking flows without rebuilding everything or duct taping the store back together. It's truly the best if you're going to be out here, running these types of operations at high spend, high scale, and just allows you to hit every bird with one stone. And using Atlas, I was able to set up an offer page in like 20 minutes. That would typically take me like 2 to 3 days, if that. And, now I can just offload this for 20 minutes, have a perfect, 8-figure a month, $10,000 to $20,000 a day store humming along seamlessly, basically running on this type of setup and offer for storefront. This knocks everything out in one, saves a ton of money. That's just why I don't really fuck with manual setups anymore. Supplier relations. How do you actually know your supplier? Are they shipping directly from their factory and it's going to the customer, or are they shipping it from a factory that ships to a factory that then ships to your customer? I've seen people get burned like this. Good people, and all of a sudden they're getting fined by, Visa or MasterCard, and maybe a bunch of orders didn't go out on time. Again, you want to stop with this video. Our goal is to stop an avalanche from occurring, and there's so many things that can cause that can poke that snow and cause chaos. Yes, shipping directly from their factory to the customer, shipping it the same day, and typically also fast ways to pay. What I mean by that is the money that you're sending them hits their account fast. You need that, because if it doesn't hit their account fast, most suppliers aren't going to ship out that product or even buy that product to then ship out. So again, you need to vet your supplier. You need to see, are they really shipping it from their factory? And are they going to ship it out directly when the money hits their account? Most of the time when you're in the beginning phases, and I know this $10,000, $20,000 a day scale, but it is still kind of the beginning phase in big commerce, and until you really, do it for some months and stacked months and maybe a year or so, and then you build that crazy connection and they'll just start shipping all the orders out automatically and bill you monthly. So having fast ways to pay, that hits their account quick, I would recommend Wise. You can either load up a Wise account, or I just directly debit out a Wise, and this takes less than within 12 hours the money is in their account. Again, be very sure of that though. Look through that individually, because this is the biggest thing. Even if you're upfront and maybe your money takes 3 to 5 days to hit them, then they take a while to go to the customer. It is such a shitty experience, and it's just something you don't want nowadays. It's 2026. People are getting crazy fast shipping. One way I think you can mitigate all this is Teemdrop. Teemdrop, you know, that's a good one. They have a lot of really, really good agents. You can click their link down below as well. I'll have them down below. You can click their link and you can basically go ahead and set up your supplier with an agent, get into a meeting with them and talk to them and tell them exactly about your needs. You know, find the different routes to either white label your product, get your product to the customer as fast as possible, everything like that. That way you just like actually provide something good. Well, that also leads to things like no chargebacks. And then, you know, your ads do better and everything works congruently. So Teemdrop is one of those ones. If you just want a good supplier relationship, they're pretty easy. They're very fairly priced. I would say they're in the lower middle for when it comes to pricing. They aren't the cheapest, but that's also kind of a good thing. You don't really want the cheapest suppliers because those are typically the guys who are going from factory to factory or, you know, subcontracting with other factories in China to ship out your product, which just adds extra days on end. So you want your tracking number to go up same day and tracking info to post the next working day to your customer. Your customer is going to feel assured, and that's going to help out. The next thing is good customer service. For good product, good customer service. That's always going to break. I'm sorry guys, you're just not going to want to be messaging Habibi for all day off your phone or having, you know, someone that you hire do it for $20 an hour. It's not going to work. You can have your own team of VAs. I highly recommend, you know, employing someone, good people. I don't have any like relationship, but could probably connect you with like someone high up. But like Helpfully is a really good one. Zendesk is good. I personally use Helpfully actually. That's been very easy to offload and just keeping customers at bay, you know, when shipping times may get long for during, you know, different things like Christmas season and things like that. So Helpfully, Zendesk, don't be a hero. Don't ruin your life looking at all those emails. It's not worth it. Having good customer service is really cheap. And I think, you know, it pays for itself within having, you know, either one or two customers not execute a chargeback. That literally will just pay for your whole month of customer service, right? So very, very useful and just allows you to scale. It keeps your processor alive. And again, everything here is just working congruently. So I think customer service is a huge thing and it breaks for everybody that I've seen. So I've seen people going, you know, $1 million a month and they're still handling them and their girlfriend or whatever. They're still handling emails themselves. Nut shit. I don't know. The only way you're gonna scale, everything's gonna, if you're trying to be that hero, everything's gonna break. Whether it's, you know, within your storefront, like again, using Atlas and stuff like that, whether it's within your advertising ad structure, you know, there are people for all of this stuff. Having the right people is a huge thing. And something that, you know, I had to work a long time to get myself. But customer service, I think that pretty much sums it up for that. Let's see, what else am I missing? Like, what's one of those bangers? And last, but definitely not least, MRR. Don't just rely on straight sales profits, stack subs. So I don't know what you're selling, whether you're selling something that can be renewed monthly and you know, implementing some sort of subscribe and save feature, or if you're selling something that, you know, maybe customers will want access to for less and implementing some sort of like loyalty rewards program, you know, something like Amazon Prime where they can, you know, maybe pay monthly to get access to products with higher shipping and everything like that. MRR is huge. You're going to want it and for scaling, and it's only going to raise your brand's valuation. Raising your brand valuation is everything you want, especially if you plan on coasting this range. Again, this is the type of stuff in this video you're going to see to be able to coast at this type of range. You know, things aren't just going to break after a week or two. You can coast and successfully build valuation and get offers and sell your stores for most likely in the millions of dollars. Stacking subs is huge. It's going to basically 3x your valuation. When you have some sort of subscription facet to your business, you're basically banking off monthly when it would have just been a one-time sale. And, you know, I can look next August and say, hey, I'm going to make X amount. And I can look at projections for next April, and I could say, being laying on a beach and say, hey, I'm gonna make X amount solely and only off, you know, MRR with everything incorporated like fees and churn. That was just money that you didn't have. So stacking that, you know, there's ways to do it. There's loop, recharge, advanced implementation, you know, setting up your own CRM, having full control, and managing your subscriptions is, again, that's what the biggest businesses in the world are doing, and it's what some of the biggest drop shippers are doing. But you can also familiarize yourself with it with like things like Loop and Recharge in the Shopify App Store. But advanced implementation is really where the money's gonna be made, and you can fully customize your checkout and, you know, see all the different subs coming from your different offers and landing pages and things like that, and know how to factor, know who's the best, who's the most valuable. You want to focus on valuable LTV, because when you focus on valuable LTV, you know, someone who maybe they subscribed for this offer, it's like you find where the better customers are and then you know how to hit them as well. And LTV, lifetime value, is simply just another, you know, KPI that you can look at and optimize, right? So if I see the person coming onto my store because they want to cure cancer or something, and I'm not saying ever run anything like that, it's a joke, but they want to cure cancer or something, they got that ad and that, you know, that lander, and then all of a sudden the next month they're in this customer service, they unsubscribe, and I see they had the highest churn versus, you know, they got the girl who wants to smell good for other guys and keep smelling good, you know, maybe she stays subscribed for 8 to 9 months or something like that, then maybe I would focus for just the girls that want to smell better for guys, right? So for perfume product, if you didn't hear what I was mentioning earlier in the video, no one's really talking about that. You know, focusing on valuable LTV is one of the biggest things you can do right now. It's what the biggest people in the scene are doing. Trust me, I absolutely know. And the last one is yourself. Don't stress too hard. There's always help and resources. There's those nights it gets rough. There's those nights that you might break and not the ad accounts. You know, you become a little unprofitable, but you want to keep things going. Again, guys, implement everything. Focus on your advertising strategies. Kill and stick to your roots, stick to the fundamentals that brought you there. Again, if you guys ever need any help in hand, or just someone to even talk to about dropshipping, just get pointers in the right direction, you guys can shoot me a DM on Instagram at Leo Kuzno. I hope you enjoyed this more like laid back type video. It kind of reminds me of my old style of videos, and I really fuck with it. So if you guys like that, please drop a like and subscribe for more future value. If you have any questions as well, just gonna be answering them down below. And yeah, that's been it for me, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Peace out, soldier up, and salute.